So I picked up a 1998 C5 Corvette. And this car, I really scored on this one. It's a black convertible, it's auto, but auto and convertible, that's what people like. Has some damage on the convertible top, like looks like it was resealed at some point. Looks pretty bad. Probably just gonna get a new top. But the guy advertised it with it having bad paint, needing a respray, but especially with the hood. I mean, the hood, it's really hard to tell. It's a little faded, but it will buff right out. I'm pretty positive this car will buff and polish. Looks super good. It's really dirty right now. I haven't had a chance to wash it. Let's look in the inside. It's 105,000 miles. Oh, dang it. I keep hitting the door on things. All right. A little dirty in the speaker area, but like this car was freshly detailed when we picked it up. The guy selling it did a good job with cleaning everything. Yeah, so the only problems really, radio doesn't turn on. Some weird noise going on right now. Radio doesn't turn on. The LED on the AC module isn't working. So I'll figure that out. Usually these just need to be resoldered. Something's making noise, that's really weird. The guy said the battery was a refurbished battery, so it might be bad, and that might be the noise I'm hearing. Just a weak battery right now. The automatic, I mean, I drove this car a little over an hour home with it. It made the drive fine. It's pretty nice of a car. I mean, I just can't believe, like, I got a C5 and it runs. So I did drive in an hour home, but these were the tires, so it was a pretty sketchy ride all the way around. It's showing cord in some spots. You can see in the bottom angle, like, it's very uneven. It's even dry rotting on the inside of the tire too. It's really crazy. This tire has some dry rotting going on, but nowhere near as bad as that other side. Front tires are new, so I just ordered rear tires for that. So that'll be perfect. Let's pop the engine bay and show you there. So this is the LS1 engine that everyone loves. First time having an LS1 engine. Yeah, the engine bay was freshly detailed. It looks really good. I mean, the guy did a really good job cleaning this up. Gotta give him props for that. So this is the model with the bad control module that is in charge of the ABS and stuff like that. They're just known for being bad because it's a lot harder to fix those than the later models. But it's working, so I'll be happy with it working still. This bolt is all rusty. There's a little bit of like that surface rust going on, but I mean, this is a California car. It's not rotted by any means. Because even though these C5s are fiberglass bodies, they have the frame underneath that can rot sometimes. It looks really good in here though. This car's pretty intimidating when it's driving. It has the stock exhaust, it sounds like, but pretty intimidating. I haven't seen any leaks out of the front area. There's some drips coming out of the bottom, so that's why I got my jack over here. We're gonna put this car up in the air and figure out where the leaks are coming from. Also, if you know these cars, Is that factory? There's kind of like a T thing going on, or a Y, I guess. Yeah, a Y would be more appropriate. That doesn't look factory, but brakes work, so I'm not really gonna complain. All right, let's get this car in the air. See how much of a struggle that is. All right, we're under the car. So we're looking for the leak. The leak, I know, is dripping out of this oil plug. Oil plug and the filter. You actually just saw something fall right now. This entire oil pan is just caked. Whatever this front thing is, it's caked also. Nothing in the very front. It's wet. There's a little oil buildup on the rack, but not too bad. Whatever this sensor is over here is surrounded by oil. That line has a bit of oil on it. Let me shove the phone up there. You know, that might be a front main leak. Kind of looks like a front main leak to me. Alright, we're near the back. This is the oil filter. So you can see this, the torque tube, the front of the torque tube is soaked in oil. So you might want to call it and say it's a rear main, but I'm not so sure. I can see a little bit of flickle. Oh, this oil filter is loose. I wonder if that's all it is. I could see like a little light gap. Like I could see the O-ring is just destroyed on this oil filter. Yeah, this oil filter definitely looks loose. Possibly the sender above it, the gasket, is bad. But I mean, this oil filter, once I get a new one and do the oil change, that will totally solve that problem. Yeah, I think that's all the leak is in the back. In the front, it looked like maybe a front main. Originally when I was looking at the car, I was worried it was the oil pan. But let me get to a better spot. So here we are at the front. The front main's behind this balancer. The bad part is this coarse port, and then the rack is right in the way, so all that would have to be dropped to get to the front main. Kind of looks like it's coming out of the front of the oil pan, but you see the oil on top of where the block is instead of the pan. Makes you think it's just dripping down. There's not really much oil way up there. Just kind of, it definitely looks like it's a front main. That would be why this rack is all coated in oil. I mean, once you take the pulley off, you'll know for sure if it's the front main. So if it's a front main that's leaking, you gotta think, when the engine is running, the car's driving, it's going this way. If it's going this way, the oil is kind of being flung around everywhere by the balancer spinning. So it's gonna kind of go like outwards like that, and then it's gonna make its way towards the back. So that would be why the oil pan is just caked at the bottom, all of the sides. It's oil just kind of swimming around the pan. That definitely looks like what it is. This is going to be quite a bit of work if I do have to do the front main. But I also believe the balancer is out of balance and needs to be replaced. The common problem for these LS1s. So I might just all do that. in a day, maybe tomorrow. Let's see. All right, so I picked up oil. This car calls for about 6.5 quarts. Other people say 7, so I'll put 7 in it. Got the oil filter. So basically my plan is to just change the oil now, change out that oil filter seal, and see what happens. The front crank seal is going to be a job in and of itself to get to. So I'm just going to do the easy one that was very clearly leaking, which is the oil filter. So if I do the oil change, that eliminates that leak. And then we'll see how bad this front seal really is. And maybe I don't need to worry about it right away, so I can spend my time on other projects that I have. So let's get to draining this oil. All right, got the bolt loose, undoing it by hand. I'm about to see it drain. I don't know how far it's gonna shoot. Here we go. Wait. Okay, I'm perfect. Nice black oil. I'm gonna let that drain for a little bit. So while it's draining, another problem with this car, the brake lights and turn signals don't work. So I drove this for an hour with no brake lights or turn signals. So I think it's just a fuse. I didn't have the tools at the time to pull a fuse. I didn't have any pliers, so let's do it now. All right, fuse box on C5s are down here. Got these tabs. Just undo them, and then you can slide this thing out of the way. There we go. All right, fuses in here. Undo it. And pop it out. And then I'm gonna find the brake lights and turn signals fuse. No idea what happened, but listen. Okay, not sure if that's like a security problem going on or what, but that's pretty weird. So I'm gonna finish up the oil change and then I'll get back to that. All right, did a quick Google search about that buzzing noise. Gonna check the battery. And sure enough, my battery is low. So apparently that noise is from not enough current flow. So disrupting the current by pulling a fuse like that, I guess that's what triggered it. I mean, makes sense. The guy told me the battery was refurbished, so it was junk anyway, so gonna have to get a new battery for sure, a lot sooner than I thought, actually. Hopefully there's no draw in the system. And so the battery died to where even with the jump starter, it wasn't able to start. So I picked up this new battery. This will work. Did a little reading on batteries. Basically, cold cranking amps is important, but the main important one is the reserve capacity here, 120 minutes. That's good. That's plenty for this car. That's just for if you have a draw or something, it can help keep the battery juiced and alive. Driving the C5 right now, just taking it for a little stroll around the neighborhood. Still got the bad tires on it, but the belt's squeaking, so there's that issue, but the car's going. Got the new battery in it, alternator's charging, everything's looking good. Just taking it out for a little last joyride before I put it on the back burner for a week or so. Alright, just gave it a wash. It's all shiny now. You can really see the bad paint marks. But we did what we wanted to do today. Fixed the oil leak, at least one of them, probably the biggest one, honestly. Gave it an oil change. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode on this car.